let's get into it. This weekend, I am so excited for a proper heavyweight fight. Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois, 96,000 fans in attendance at Wembley Stadium. Joshua back where he belongs. A fight that belongs at Wembley Stadium, a domestic clash. Anthony Joshua, think about it, man. He has been back from the dead. I mean, the losses to Ruiz,
both guys.
I know. The storylines are incredible. Joshua back from the dead. The losses to Ruiz, the double losses to Usyk, building himself back up, getting a new trainer, now becoming the most powerful heavyweight in boxing, in my opinion. Then you have Daniel Dubois, who was labeled a quitter.
Back from disgrace. Joshua back from the dead. Dubois back from disgrace.
Dubois back from being labeled a quitter against Joe Joyce, broken orbital bone. He tore his ACL against Kevin Lorena. He goes on and he beats Jarrell Miller, who bullied him all fight week long. He beats Hrgovic, who said some just nasty things about it, called him a little boy. And then he gets in there with Usyk and, fights him tough, but ultimately loses to Usyk just like everyone else does, but finds himself back in the mix, deserving of this fight. Joshua, deserving of a chance to become a three-time heavyweight champion. Chris, this fight is amazing. This fight is a proper heavyweight fight. I can't wait.
Proper heavyweight fight I've been looking forward to quite a bit. Maybe a little under the radar on this side of the world for American fans, but obviously going to be a big deal out there. They're expecting 100,000, close to it. So fantastic fight. Well, so this is one of those heavyweight fights where you're going to watch on pins and needles because they're both destructive punchers. And say what you will about Joshua. He's a fantastic fighter, awesome technician, probably the best puncher in the world today. But man, that chin, it can be shaky. And Dubois has shown durability in recent years. Maybe not mentally, but he's shown it definitely physically. And the guy can punch. He's got, what does he have? How many decisions does he have? One? What does he have? One decision?
I can pull it up now.
The guy is
2 with 20 knockouts.
Yeah, he's got one decision. He's a brutal puncher, and has been in with top level opposition. And I think he's turned a corner. We've talked about that quite a bit on our shows in terms of Dubois' his psyche, where he's come and where he's come from and where he's at now. I think that Jarrell Miller fight was a big turnaround for him. You got a guy bullying him, and he was able to power through that and score a stoppage of a guy who's really, really tough to stop. And they got Hrgovic, where I was picking him to lose. And Hrgovic landed some big right hands early. And Dubois walked through all of it and broke Dubois. Broke him down the stretch. Broke Hrgovic, down the stretch. So it was like the bully getting bullied by, the nerd, quote unquote.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think Dubois' awesome career arc has been awesome to watch. He's not the biggest trash talker. He really tries though, which is funny because he's not really good at it. And that's what kind of adds to his charm. Probably the worst boxer today, Daniel Dubois, with the French cuff, not cuffed, with the leather jacket over the leggings. That's fine. This isn't a fashion contest; it's a boxing match. I love his story. Obviously, love Joshua's story too. Some stats here. They boast a combined. This is from Lee Groves. They boast a combined 45 knockouts in their 49 wins, but 3 of their 5 defeats have been KO losses.
Yeah.
So that they have power, and they also have faulty chins, which makes it even more exciting to watch. They're going to be walking that tightrope. 2 large men with leaky chins, Chris.
Well, that was exactly my point about watching this fight on pins and needles. Because, dude, don't go get a beer during this fight. Anything can happen with these guys. They can both crack.
Yeah. Going to Joshua now. What a career! I think his respect level should be through the roof for boxing fans, persevering while being one of the 3 faces of boxing, certainly the face of British boxing, and led the resurgence. I mean, fighters over in the UK look at this guy like he's their leader. Look at this guy like you're the one that brought it back. You're the one that put Wembley back on the map and fought in front of all the Klitschko's. Won the heavyweight title, became a big star. So I think he's beloved by British boxers. I think he's obviously beloved by British fans. He should be beloved by all boxing fans for how he's handled himself, how he's rebuilt his career, a real student of the game, a throwback fighter, because his resume is getting – he has the best resume of any heavyweight. It's better than Fury's. It's better than Usyk's is pretty damn good too. I think Joshua's is up there because he's fought literally everyone. Dubois now, you add him to the list. The only person he hasn't fought is Tyson Fury, and I expect that to happen because of Riyadh season and all that. But how about this? Beyond the potential record-setting crowd, Joshua is hoping to join Muhammad Ali, Vitaly Klitschko, Michael Moorer, and Lennox Lewis as men who've won a share of the heavyweight title 3 times.
Wow.
Holyfield holds the mark, who won it 4 separate times. That right there is so impressive, Chris. Is winning the title 3 separate times, especially in today's day and age where you have to fight back with the politics, you have to make sure you're aligned properly. 3-time heavyweight champ if Joshua wins. That's a pretty cool distinction.
No, it's historic. It's not just a cool distinction. Like literally, you're entering the conversation with all time greats, and I think he'll be there. Like you said, he's been an absolute megastar over there. But I mean, he's done a lot for the sport, a lot for British boxing. He's been around a long time, even though he's not that old. But
34.
yeah, that's for heavyweights, that's not that old.
34. He's 34. He's fought Francis Ngannou, Otto Wallin, Hillenas, Jeremy Franklin, Usyk twice, Pulev, Ruiz, Povetkin, Parker, Takam, Klitschko, Brazil, Charles Martin, Dillian White. Good God.
Good God is right.
And he's come out on top, and for the most part. And he's been ridiculed. There was a time where we were questioning his psyche every other week. He changed trainers, which I thought was a big move, twice. He changed trainers from Rob McCracken, who was his trainer from early on his amateur days, Olympic days, to the pros. Then he went with Robert Garcia, and that didn't work. Then he went with Derek James, and that didn't work. And now it is working because he is with Ben Davidson. Ben Davidson
and it is working. It is working.
Definitely working. Because, Chris, you can attest to this as the fighter here on the panel, is that I think he's figured out the perfect distribution of power and jabs. It took him a while because for a while, big talking point with Joshua is that after Klitschko, he became so cautious. And after Ruiz, he became so cautious where he's throwing 70% jabs. And he was just trying to protect that chin, trying to protect the money, trying to protect his reputation. But now, after Robert Garcia and after Derek James, I think he learned stuff from them too. But now with Davidson, he's back to throwing 60% power shots, the right distribution, 60-40 from power to jabs. And, I mean, he's knocking guys out. He looks really freaking good.
Well, I think also with Davidson, you've got a coach who trains the fighter, not a style. And he looks at a guy like Anthony Joshua, and he can do everything. But when you feel the power in that right hand, you go, whoa, why are we not throwing this? Why are we not using the jab to set this thing up instead of just using the jab to score points and defend? And I think that's been the major difference we've seen. Now he's just setting up that cannon that is that right hand. He's always been a good jabber. He's a very, very good jabber, but he's now using it to set up the right hands. And that's the big difference. When you got Anthony Joshua landing right hands, he beats everybody in the world because the guy, I mean, he's got a cannon for an arm. And he's big. He can box. He's got great technique. You look up photos of him knocking out Ngannou, like you're looking at a perfect technical precision, technical stance, everything, his hand position, everything. The guy does everything right. So, but I think more so even than that, from a technical aspect, for what Ben Davidson is bringing to Anthony Joshua, is psychology. I think he's got him feeling comfortable in his own skin, which I think is something that with these past couple coaches wasn't the case. I think that Joshua's the kind of guy, he doesn't need to be uncomfortable in camp. He needs to be comfortable. He needs to feel at home. He needs to feel, like he's getting attention and that, they're focused on him. And you don't need to break him and build him back up. He's already there. You need him to go out there and just be what he is because the guy is an absolute specimen. And he hits you with the right hand, he can knock out anybody in the world.
Yeah, and he's been doing that. I mean, his last 5 fights, Ngannou, which was kind of like a whatever, but I like the fact that he just handled business.
Yeah, but he got that. He got that back for us because there were so many boxing people that were like, Tyson Fury let us down, and then Joshua did what Tyson was supposed to do. So he got one back for team boxing.
And I love how he knocks him out, but he didn't celebrate.
Nah.
He handled it properly, and he made Fury look like a buffoon.
Yep.
Fury made himself look like a buffoon with his Ngannou performance, and then Joshua coming back and just doing that made him look even better. So that adds to why I believe he's even more respected. Then he fought Otto Wallin, which was a nice stoppage. Wallin's tough.
Valine is a tough guy to look good against. No one does it. Tyson Fury struggled with him mightily. He had just caught off a good fight with Gassiev, who's really, really tough. A good win over Gassiev. So Valine, that was a better win than you would think.
Right. Then the Franklin win, which he went the distance.
Not
That was
good.
when we were still questioning him. That was his first fight after Usyk, the two Usyk fights, where in hindsight are looking like pretty good performances. Usyk is Usyk. He's the best heavyweight of this era.
Especially the
And
second one. Looked really good in the second one.
right. First one didn't look as good. Second one, I thought Joshua was right in the mix, but Usyk just does what Usyk does.
I think he was just shocked in the first one, and the second one he brought his A game, did really, really well, and it was a good close fight.
still shocked too. Whenever in the ring, he grabbed the mic and hip hip hooray, and he just was so shocked. You were on the call. I remember you said that was weird because he couldn't believe I trained my ass off. I gave everything I possibly have, and I just still can't beat you. Like that was a crazy moment in the ring because that you're just seeing Joshua be a little vulnerable there, and that goes to
Yeah,
the whole
that was a
psyche.
full on mental breakdown. Full on.
Well, do you,
He didn't.
I
He
don't
never
really
expected
blame
to
him.
lose to the same guy twice.
I don't blame him because of the scrutiny that this guy's constantly under. Um,
Yeah, the
going up
pressure is
against a
crazy.
guy and it was like, what'd you say?
The pressure is crazy for Anthony
The
Joshua.
pressure
It always
on this
has
guy.
been. Always has been.
The whole country looking at him, and I think that kind of went away after the Ruiz loss, and then he had to build it back up. He's not the same type of pressure, but that's why I think he's way more comfortable now. Got the right trainer, the right mindset. He's 34. He's been around the block. Has the great resume. The last five for Dubois, really impressive too. Hergovic win, Miller win, Usyk with the whole low blow body shot, whatever. He fought decent, and then until he didn't. Kevin Lorena, I know that was kind of like a joke type of fight, but tore his ACL early on in the fight, and then still managed to get the stoppage. That's not easy. Trevor Bryan, that was for a secondary WBA belt, but Dubois obviously threw him that Joyce fight, which wasn't in his last five fights. The Joyce fight was tough. Guy was up on the cards, took a knee, got crucified for taking a knee, but he had a broken orbital bone and nerve damage in his eye. And that was at
Yeah.
age 23, 24?
I went to bat for him, and he was getting crushed. And I've had that injury. It's horrible. It's really it's scary. You don't know. It's nothing you could ever feel. You never felt before. It's a very scary injury, and also you could end your career on something like that. You got you get a bad orbital break, and you keep going. That thing keeps getting hit. Very, very possible for you to have a career-ending injury. Look at remember Margarito with Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Pacquiao ended his career. Well, essentially, he never really won a fight after that because his orbital was so fractured, and the vision in his eye was super, super deteriorated. So, yeah, I don't knock him for that. And anyone who does has never been in a fight, never been punched in their eye that hard that there's bones broken in your face. You're literally breaking your skull, guys. So
Crazy.
it would.
And he came back from that. He came back from that. He could have literally left the sport. I mean, he was super young at the time. He was really heralded. I remember hearing about him early on and being like, "Oh, this is like the next Joshua. Look at the size of this guy. He's beating people down. He's soft spoken. He's had an up and down career, and now he's at Wembley, proper. Keep saying proper because that's like a British word, right? Proper dust up. The proper dust up.
Yeah, proper dust up. They like saying that.
Let's go to the odds according to DraftKings Sportsbook. The odds right now, Joshua a sizable favorite, minus 425. Not really giving Dubois any respect here. Over under 7.5. That's even. Dubois by knockout plus 475. I'd throw some.
Dude, if I wanted to take a risk, I would bet money on Dubois.
Joshua by decision plus 550. So Vegas really thinks that this is going to be a stoppage.
Wait, what's the? Yeah, I think so too. What's Dubois by KO?
Dubois by KO is plus 475.
I might throw 100 on that. You never know.
Oh, by the way,
heavyweight boxing, man. That's why if you're gonna bet heavyweight boxing, man. You want to get risky.
By the way, when I did my hits for DraftKings on the Canelo broadcast, I told everyone at the end, Canelo to knock down Berlanga once and then the decision. And it hit,
dude.
which is so cool because I like giving out picks on Twitter.
Wait, I thought you said twice. You said one or two.
No, I had two. I had two props. The one and the two, the knockdown twice was plus 450.
Oh, so you said both.
Both. I said,
Okay.
more likely it's going to be the once down and the decision, which has been his last two fights. That was cool. But let's see. Yeah. So Joshua by decision is plus 550. So I don't think it's going the distance. Someone's getting knocked out.
Yeah, agreed.
I think Joshua's going to win,
I
obviously.
do too. I think Joshua stops him in 8 to 10.
10. Let's see what those odds are. I love round group betting in terms of rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua 7. Oh, it doesn't have. Wait, yeah. Joshua 7 through 12 plus 165. Not huge.
Not great, yeah, because
The
it's
odds
likely,
on the second half are never good because that's when they figure guys wear down and it's always the 1 through 6, which is only
especially
plus
heavyweights.
200. Especially the heavyweights. That is the heavyweight fight this weekend. All eyes will be there during the afternoon.